Adding rhinestones to tumblers is super easy and can be so much fun. I mean, just look how beautiful this is. I'm also going to be showing you how to find these swirly fonts that everybody is always curious about knowing where to find them. Hey, I'm Sarah. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming tutorials. Now make sure you stay to the end so that you don't miss out on any of the tips and tricks on how we do this project. Heading over to Cricut Design Space, as you can see, I've taken a text box and just typed in the word mama. Now up here, as you can see, I do not have any swirly letters or anything, and this is the Samantha Upright font. So what we need to do to change this is we're going to highlight this. So just highlight whatever letter it is you need to change and head down to your control panel. This is a Mac, so here I'm going to look for my font book. Now as you can see in my font book, all my fonts that I have on this computer are in here. So I'm going to go up here and search Samantha Upright. Otherwise I'm sifting through 500 different fonts and that would take a while. So go ahead and click on that. Now as you can see, these letters, they're nice, but they're basic. And all the fancy glyphs, which is what all the swirly letters are called, glyphs, are down below. And this is where you can scroll through, and these letters have so many different options. This Samantha Upright font has just a ton of options for both uppercase and lowercase letters. And we are going to find the ones that we want to replace on the word mama. So as you can see here, I am going to find the uppercase M, and sometimes it takes a while to pick which one you want to use, but when you find it, you're going to click on it, hit copy, and then head back to Cricut Design Space. Now when you're back over there, you are just going to paste it in place of the other letter. And there you have your swirl. So I'll be doing the same with the A. I'm going to highlight it, head to my font book, and then they also have the lowercase letters, and there are so many of them. I'm just going to make these a little bit bigger so I can see them better because there are so many. And a lot of these also, as you notice, have the little dashes and dots above them, just depending on what language you're using. And after you find the one you want, again, hit copy, go down to Cricut Design Space and paste. On my Mac, that would be a Command V. And then there you have it. Now all you're going to need to do is size this the way you want it. And then I am going to head down to the Combine button. After I get this to the size I want for on my cup, head down to Combined and hit Unite. Now Unite is just like Weld. The only difference is you can undo this at any point. Whereas in Weld, once you weld it and you move on, it's that way forever. So after we're done with that, I'm going to grab my vinyl. This is a bubble-free mirrored vinyl from Tech Wrap. This stuff is amazing, and I'm going to just size this to what I need because they do have a little protective film on the top of this. So I typically don't cut from a full sheet because then you have to remove that whole film from the entire sheet when I just peel it off the pieces that I need when I need it. So here you can see I'm using my weeding tool and just carefully peeling back this clear plastic film. Now on this vinyl, it's clear. On some of the other vinyls, it's like a cloudy, milky color, so make sure you pull that back before deciding on your color, because otherwise it's actually a little bit different than what it actually is underneath. Now when that's done, I'm going to flip this over and peel the mat away from the vinyl so it doesn't curl up the vinyl. And as you can see, this stuff is super shiny. This vinyl, I love it. This vinyl is great. And this stuff cuts so super slick. I mean, I didn't have any problems with this. I'm going to be weeding this, and this is real time. I'm not slowing it down or anything, just so you can see how easy this was. Now, for vinyl settings, when cutting, I have been using the holographic vinyl setting for almost all my vinyls that I cut. It doesn't matter if it's, Oracle 651 or Tech Wrap. That's what I've been using, and with this particular vinyl, I add more pressure. And these cuts come out super crisp and clean, and I didn't have any problems weeding this, other than working through some of those swirly letters. But as you can see, this was pretty easy. If you haven't tried Tech Wrap vinyl yet, I'll leave that link down below, just because this stuff is quickly becoming my favorite. And also their transfer tape. I used to be a big supporter of the Duck brand contact paper, but this Tech Wrap stuff seems to be working so much better for me. Now look at that gorgeous shine. I mean, this stuff is amazing. And now putting this on my black double-walled acrylic tumbler, I'm going to be cleaning this off first with some rubbing alcohol and a coffee filter, just because you want to clean your surfaces before putting anything on them. It'll just give it a better hold long term. Now here's that contact paper, or rather the transfer tape that I got from Tech Wrap. And again, like always, save that backing because you can use this stuff over and over again. This stuff really is probably my favorite right now. It seems to work really well on all different types of vinyl. Taking my burnishing tool, I'm going to be placing my tumbler on top of that and just figuring out where I want this word mama to go. You can do it straight up and down, you can do it sideways. Whatever you want, it's totally up to you. Do it whichever way you prefer and burnish this down really good. Now sometimes with these cups, I have a really hard time getting the vinyl to stick the first time. Sometimes I have to take a hairdryer to it and heat it up and press it down really good. But this vinyl stuck so good. I was super impressed. Like, I didn't have to do any special tricks to get this stuff to stick down. And like its name, it's bubble free. There are no little air bubbles in here, nothing. This is super slick and this is beautiful just the way it is. I love this metallic color on this matte black, but because we are putting rhinestones on this, we are going to keep moving on, and I am going to grab my rhinestones. I have all different colors, shapes, all off of Amazon. And then I also have my Liquid Fusion and my rhinestone pen. This pen has two tips on it. One is a wax end. That is the side that you use to pick up the rhinestones. And then on the other end is to press them down into the glue. So I decided on using my onyx black colored, they have a little bit of a color shift to them, rhinestones today on this black tumbler. And I just put a few different sizes out and grabbed this weeding tool from the Dollar Tree that I use to dip into my glue so that I can carefully place the glue on my vinyl. Now just dabbing a little bit at a time. This is where you really want to work in small little sections and take your time. This is by no means a fast project. This probably took me from beginning to end with just the rhinestone placement like an hour. And this isn't even a full tumbler. Can you imagine doing an entire tumbler? It would probably take me days. But I am going to slowly and carefully work my way around on the words here. That's what the vinyl is for. That's kind of like my template, so I know where to put them. And picking whichever size I think will fit best on the size of the lettering. Working slowly pressing down with the other end of my rhinestone pen here, pressing them down into that glue just so they get a good hold. And we are just going to slowly work our way through here. If you're getting any value out of this tutorial today, if you like what you're seeing here and you maybe are going to go out and try to do rhinestones on a tumbler, go ahead and hit that like button. Just let me know in the comments also, have you tried something like this before? Do you use rhinestones often, or is it something you're just curious about? There's so many different things that you can do with rhinestones that I love how it just adds that extra little special touch to different things. Let's talk about this font for a minute, shall we? Like I said before, this is the Samantha Upright font. Now, if you have looked at this font before, you would know that it is pretty pricey. I mean, I think when I looked at it, it was probably about $50 just for the font. But after you see all the different glyphs that you get with it, you would understand why that is actually a really great deal. But I was not going to pay $50 for one font, which is why I love 𝒕𝒉𝒊𝒔𝒂𝒄 so much. I don't know if you've been over there before, if you have their subscription or not, but you guys, you gotta check it out. I'll leave the link down below to this font. It was so worth me getting the yearly subscription, which I think at the time I only paid $5 a month for the subscription, and then you can download all the fonts and graphics that you want, and they have millions of fonts and graphics. I mean, it's ridiculously crazy what you can all find from there. And I actually choose to use that subscription over Cricut Access. So anyways, there's my plug on this font because it really is beautiful. Look at those swirls. It's so elegant, and these rhinestones just make this word pop even more off this tumbler. Now, if you still have questions on how to use glyphs, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell, because I will be having a tutorial coming out shortly that goes over all the different things you need to know about fonts and their glyphs.